Sometimes you're not aware of the significance. You know, it's an event, it passes, and you're not aware of the significance. Of course, I look back to pictures that every event has been photographed. We have the most well-documented pictures of our family. That, you know, they say the cobbler's children have no shoes. Not in this case. Pictures, pictures, pictures.
I had the opportunity to attend many activities in the city, but there was a group here called the Page and Goodman. So through them, I was working, taking pictures in the downtown Peabody area. And that's where I got to learn how the city operated. The occasions were very important to me because over the years, it's helped me understand what's going on.
I'm Dorothy Wallman, and I'm Ray Wallman's wife. I think I met him right out of high school, and I was going to college at the time. And he had come into New York with a friend of his, and my date was with his friend from Peabody. His date was with another girl, and I received a wonderful letter from the fellow, and he used this term, he was smitten with you. That's exactly what he said. And then he called. And he asked that if I were free, and so we had another date. And then it became a very serious thing. He went into the army. He was attached to the French army in southern France. It was a very small intelligence group, like 21 or 22. And this is the Eiffel Tower. And last year, I went to the Eiffel Tower, and it just wasn't like this. I didn't see the fountains. This is Ray's picture. And I think it's more beautiful than what you see when you go there now. I think it's been commercialized so much, it just wasn't the same. And then when he came back, he worked for the Record American, and he worked for the Sunday Advertiser, of course, and the war was still going on in the Pacific. So he worked many years, and he got several awards from the Record American and the Sunday Advertiser. He was really in his prime. He was working then, and then he had to give it up because he was trying to establish himself in Peabody, and he could no longer stay in Boston. Oh, here you go, the Peabody Centennial Committee. Oh my God. United Press, Pride of Peabody Award, H. Ray Wallman. But this was very beautiful. In Peabody High, he was given this as a distinguished career as a Peabody person, Peabody Veterans Memorial High School. And this is our wedding picture. We got married in 49, 52 we had Mitchell. Sharon was the next one, and then my son Scott. They're just wonderful. It's the genes. It's the genes. It just followed them through.
I've taken many events in the city of Peabody over the years, and I feel as though I've involved with weddings, graduations, the happiest things in the city. And I've done this for, as I say, for over 60 years. It's something I will continue because I haven't retired. I'm the official photographer for the city of Peabody. I can dream that way anyway.
He had fallen. He fell once up at Brooksby. He was taking a picture and he fell. And then he fell again in the house. We had a tri-level house. And I said to him at that time, you know, you've had 2 falls within a really recent time. You know, sometimes you know it within yourself, but you don't really want to discuss it. And he was very cooperative about coming and which apartment should we take, and it was getting more and more difficult. But he really didn't want to give up, and that was hard. I mean, he just became the city photographer. It just happened that way. When I got a call from Martha Holden, she said, we're going to celebrate the centennial, but we're starting with the bicentennial. And she said, we have Ray's albums and we'd like to use them. And I said, I'm flattered. A lot of his work is in the Historical Society. And unfortunately, a lot of his work isn't marked. I mean, I recognize his work. I recognize the era that it was, and it's just not marked. So we're hoping that everything that comes out of the centennial will give him his due, because he devoted his life to it. I'll tell you something really interesting. This came up at the very, very end. Barry Lubchansky contacted me and he said, you know, I think Ray is eligible for a French Medal of Honor. I said, really? And he said, well, he served in France, didn't he? And I said, yes. He said, did he serve in combat? And I said, yes, I have that on the papers that I have. So when I went to tell Ray, and I said to him, you know what? This is really interesting. You may receive a Medal of Honor, and they'll come to you here because we can't take you there. And he said, that's impossible. That's what he said, that's impossible. And unfortunately, he died during that process, and they don't give it posthumously. But he just didn't believe his own stature. He just didn't. He was always very understated. I feel my life has been in segments, 20 years, 20 years, 20 years, 20 years. Now I'm up to these, but I mean, the first 20 years I had a wonderful childhood, a wonderful family. The second 20 I was really busy with raising the family and the marriage, and then the next 20 years or more I was working. These were all different phases of my life. And then when we moved here, now I felt, this is good. This is really good to have arrived at this stage. I'm happy to have all these wonderful memories, and not everything's framed, but every picture you see, we have them. Oh, it's good. 70 years, it's a long time. He's very fortunate. Not everybody loves what they do, and he just did. A lot of people don't spend a lifetime doing what they enjoy. Can't wait to retire, although they can't afford it now, but can't wait to retire, But you just can't do that today. And he was one lucky guy.